Hello and welcome to another video. Today I'm bringing you my first FLOSSTUBE update of 2024. I have a whip braid that I took out at the end of December, so if you're interested to see all my whips, I will leave that linked either above or in the description. I have kind of went chaotic. In that video, I said I wanted to stay under 10 whips. I now have more than 10 whips. I had two new starts slated, one for a birthday and one for New Year, which I did start. I think I kind of messed up as well because some of my numbers in my whip parade were off, but it's fine. There will be correct numbers from this point forward, but the pictures will be right. So we will figure it out. And I think what I'm gonna do going forward is I'm gonna do like if I have any new starts, I will show them. I'm gonna chapter the videos. So new starts, current whips, acquisitions, and then plans so that you can watch the parts that you're interested in. I would be very happy to know how you feel about this technique in the comments. So let me know if you'd like me to continue this. I just thought it would be a really good way for people to watch the parts that they are interested in, and I hope that you like it, I guess. So we are kicking off today with new starts. So I had two new starts slated, but the Witchy Stitcher came out with a Patreon exclusive Creepmas 12 days run of patterns, and I could not resist because I didn't want to stitch them all, but I did have a few that I would like to stitch. So what I've done is I've put together a hodgepodge of the patterns that I'm going to stitch. I've chosen 6 and they're all going to be on the same fabric. And unfortunately, you can't get this unless you're a Patreon, but I'm not going to do all 12. So I decided to pick the ones that I like most and just stitch them all on the same piece of fabric. So this is the patterns that I've done so far. And this is on 16 count black Ada. I don't have numbers for this simply because they are all 6 separate charts. So I'm just going to tell you that I have completed 3 of the patterns so far. And my intention is to have, there is 2 like iterations of ghosts with mistletoes, and I'm going to put them over here, and then there's going to be an ugly sweater in the middle here, and then I plan to there, if you see this green, I plan to border them all. I'm not sure how I want to do it yet because I was kind of thinking candy cane like striped effect, but I'm not sure. So I'm going to stitch all 6 patterns and then I will think about the border after that is done. So I completed 3 out of the 6 patterns that I want for this project. And even though this wasn't a slated new start, I'm kind of okay with it simply because like I could call this finished right now if I wanted because it's 3 separate patterns. I won't because I want all 6, but I attend I could. Um so yeah, this was my non-slated kind of chaotic new start. I didn't even have the colors that I needed for this. So I had to like start with the colors that I had in my stash and then order more threads. So I could have at some point told myself not to start something new and stay under the 10 whips, but I didn't because I am chaotic. And that is okay because as long as we're stitching and happy with it, then that's all that matters. Before I move on to my next new start, I actually forgot in my whip parade to show a finish that I done last year. So if you followed along with my floss tube so far, you would know that I was stitching on Knoll by Stitch Rovia, and it was going to be a gift for my grandma, and she has now received it. It is fully finished. I will leave on screen what it looks like, and I'm so happy that I managed to not only complete this stitch, but fully finish it and give it as a gift. So my grandma loves it, and I forgot to show it in my whip parade, but I'm showing it here because I'm so proud of myself. This is like my first fully finished object, and I just spaced and forgot to put it in my whip parade. So here is the beautiful finished that I done. Moving on to my birthday new start. So I decided that Open Your Heart by Stitch Rovia was going to be my birthday new start. This is on 18 count River Hut Designs fabric, and I started this on the 26th of December 2023. And I done a middle start for the first time because I'm not sure how my borders line up on this fabric. It's maybe cutting it close, so I decided the best way would be to center start so that I have enough border like all round. I really enjoyed stitching on this. I got 1030 stitches in for a total of 7.80% complete. And there is a lot of block stitching in this, which I think just makes it go that little bit faster. And yeah, I had so much fun with this, and I have no goals for this. This is just a new start for my birthday, and I'm just going to stitch on it whenever I feel like. And because it's quite bulky on like bulk stitching, sorry, then I can pick this up and get like quite a lot of stitches in one sitting and feel like I'm accomplishing something, which I am because, you know, progress is progress, even though this one doesn't have a goal and I should be focusing on the ones that do have goals, which is a lot easier said than done. The next new start I had was my New Year new start, and this is No Time Like the Present by Modern Folk Embroidery. This is their 2024 sal. I am not taking part in the sal. I'm aiming for 1,000 stitches a month on this piece, not in the intended order of the sal. I think the sal is 3,500 stitches a month, but because I'm trying to split focus and get goals done on different projects, it just makes sense for me to lower the stitch count on this, although I will say working on this has been a dream. So this is on 18 count River Hut Designs fabric. If you're new to my channel, I love their fabric and will stitch everything on it if I have the chance. So this is No Time Like the Present. I managed to put in 1,182 stitches for a total of 3.32%, and I'm really loving it. I will have a mock-up picture as the cover picture for this so you can see my colorway. The teal color is 964 and the grey is 414. And I just think with this pink fabric, it's going to be awesome. You're going to see the pink shine through, and I love this colorway. So I'm really hoping that it looks just the way it does in my head. And this has been a dream to stitch on so far. I did make some mistakes as I was doing the teal going down here, but I frogged it. I fixed it, and I think I'm gonna go along. When I pick this up again, I think I'm gonna go along more, and just so I can keep my Q snap the way that it is, and just continue along this way until I hit the end of the Q snap and fill in what's in the Q snap before I move on to any other part of the pattern. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I also I also upgraded my project bags. So if you don't already know, I used to use these. These are the um cloth bags that you my book subscription books come in, and I was using these because they were handy and I could reuse them, but they're not waterproof. And I was having an issue of when I was moving my whips, I was scared that, you know, they would get damaged. So I swapped over to these um file folders. I got 10 on Amazon, and they fit. This is a 7 by 11 Q snap, and they fit this Q snap perfect. Um so I now have 11 whips, and 10 of them are in this project bags. Well, I have 11 whips, but I have a new starter slated. I know, I'm going back on my goals so quick into the year, but it's fine. It's fine. So I actually have 12 whips, but one of them isn't started yet, and you'll hear more about that in acquisitions and plans. But there's two. There is my ghost face and my creatures. They are still in the cloth bags because they're small projects that I didn't want to dedicate a whole folder to. Maybe in the future when I buy more of these folders, I will just put them in there for the sake of consistency and organization. But I would rather have my big whips in these folders. And so far, they have been a treat. I have traveled with them. I have managed to get all my like threads, all my Q snaps, all my hoops and everything in these. So I'm glad I made the upgrade. Next, we're going to be moving on to whips that I have added progress into. So the first whip that I stitched on was A Little Bit of Magic by Stitch Rovia. I managed to get 891 stitches into this. This is on 18 count River Hut design fabric. All this will be on screen. And I now have a total of 2,720 stitches for 30.09%. I love this. This has been such a dream to stitch on. I have no issues with it. So I think I can fold this so I can hold it better. I came down and started working in, after this line, I started working in this letters, and I'm going to move it to the side so that so I can pop before and after. So there should be a picture on the screen of what it looked like in my whip parade, and this is what it looks like now. So you can see a good comparison, I hope. And I do think that you can definitely see the progress I made in this pattern, and I'm very happy with it. I keep deluding myself into thinking that I could finish this year, and this could be like my finish for the year, but I have plans that means that I have to focus on another piece for a finish, which I will talk about in just a moment. So I need to keep reminding myself that even though I want to finish this, I have other goals that need to take precedent. The next whip that I worked on was my Stranger versus Freddy by Tilton Crafts. This is on 18 count fabric. I got 437 stitches into this, and I'm now at a total of 1.60%. Now, this is a little bit everywhere at this precise moment because I have this cloth, this face cloth, um, because this side has not enough fabric to create the tension that I need. So this is here just to make sure that my tension stays correct, I guess. And I was originally working this in columns, so I would, work a column down, spread it out into the next column, work this column. But my back's getting way too thick to continue this. I'm having issues stitching on it this way. So what I have now decided is I'm going to start the like diagonals. So I've started creating like a diagonal here, and I'm going to try and work it in the diagonals in the page. I will pop in a picture of what it looked like during my whip parade and what it looks like now. I have 437 stitches. Doesn't sound like much, but when you see these two comparison pictures, it does look like more than it sounds. And I am now happy that I'm starting to get, excuse the waist threads, I am starting to get a bit more, forward momentum now that I'm not in the columns, because when I was working the second column, I just had so many issues with the back being too thick and not being able to get my needle through. So I'm hoping working in the diagonal will continue to be a little bit easier for me. I do really like how this looks, and I'm excited to get more progress on it. So those are the new starts that I have, the whips that I've worked on. Now to get into acquisitions. Now I told myself I wasn't going to buy anything because I don't need anything. And then Heaven and Earth Designs popped this pattern onto their Instagram, and I had seen it once before and I told myself no, but when I seen it again, I had to have it. This is I See You in My Dreams by Genovia Art, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. I bought the mini because I have two. So my Stranger versus Freddy and my Mordor are like more, they're not minis, they're over 100,000 stitches. As my Firefly is mini, I thought I would go with the mini of I See You in My Dreams. Now I'm trying a new method on this one. So I'm waiting for my fabric. I have ordered 22 count hardanger fabric, and I'm going to try and do this 2 over 1 tent stitch. I've been playing about with trying tent stitch for a little while. I wasn't sure if it was going to be my cup of tea, but I know you get a lot of progress faster, and I'm not so worried about getting a lot of progress quicker. I do just enjoy the process of stitching. It gives me something to do, but I also enjoy the, the satisfaction of finishing something or meeting a goal. Um, so I guess I'm part process stitcher, part like finish stitcher. I think that's what it's called. So I like both. I like both, and I wanted to try and do the tent stitch simply because I'm having fun doing all of my stitches in kind of different forms. And the only thing that I haven't tried is tent stitch. Well, I haven't tried a lot of different methods. There's a lot of techniques out there that I still want to try. But I think tent stitch is the way I'm going to go. So next time I come on here, I should have progress on this. This will be another new start, bringing me to 12 whips. And I should have some progress on this, and I should be able to talk about how I feel about doing the tent stitch and how I feel like it's going. I'm so excited because this pattern is just beautiful and I just want to own it. So we're starting this. It's fine. The the next thing that I bought was another pattern. I know, but Bug on Instagram, I followed their artwork for a while now and I love their art style, but they just signed up like with Thread Geeks, so their art is now being able to their art's now like converted into cross stitch, and I'm like, okay, I need. So I ended up buying the Unseelie Forest Witch. So Thread Greeks, the artist is Bug. And this is just a vibe. All of her artwork is a vibe. I'm probably going to buy more of her patterns, but this is the first one. I've had my eye on this as an art print for a while because it gives me Capricorn vibes. I am a Capricorn. It gives me Capricorn vibes. I love the artwork. I love the way that it looks. And so I had to buy it. As soon as I seen it, I had to buy it, but there is a lot more by this artist that I want to buy, but I'm holding off. And I'm also holding off on starting this because I'm gonna be starting a full coverage in the next couple of weeks anyway. So I can't start another one. I mean, I probably will, but we're gonna try and be good. So those were the two patterns that I bought. Now moving into my plans, I think what I intend to do is I want 1,000 stitches on my No Time Like the Present. That is going to be a goal going forward, just 1,000 stitches a month on No Time Like the Present. I also think this would be a good moment to add in here. I originally wanted to do one floss tube a month, but I'm thinking that I might do them every like 3 weeks instead of a month, because when I do a whole month of stitching, sometimes it's hard to keep track of what I'm buying, what I'm stitching, everything that goes along with that. So I thought if I bring one every 3 weeks, it would give me enough time to get progress, but it would also give me less to track and talk about. Um, so I don't know if that's something that you'd find interesting. They would be more frequent, but they would probably be shorter floss tubes. But I think that would be okay in the long run, and it would give you, more regular updates. So I hope that I can stick to like every 3 weeks I would bring an update. So I will come back to you. Next update will be February at this point. So I will have started I See You in My Dreams, and I can talk about the tent stitch journey on that one. I would like to hopefully have 1,000 stitches in No Time Like the Present by then. And I would potentially actually like to get more done on Stranger versus Freddy because I want to get the diagonals on the go. And I feel like the best way to do that is to have this as a focus again. This, my goal for 2024 for this was a page finish, so I definitely need to work on it anyway. And now that I've started the diagonals, I think it would be good to use that forward momentum to continue on this piece to get those stitches in. And now that I've started, I don't want to really put this down. So hopefully by the time I come back in February, I will have progress on Stranger versus Freddy, No Time Like the Present. I will have my new start, I See You in My Dreams, with some progress. And then anything else after that is just a bonus of what I stitch on. I tend to try and allow myself some structure while also stitch what you want when you want. So I give myself smaller goals that I think are achievable so that I have room to move about when I feel like it. So after I've stitched on Stranger and No Time Like the Present and I have done my new start, I can then use the rest of the time that I have left to stitch on whatever I want. And I like that. It seems to work with me, kind of swapping them out every now and again. When I get stuck, I tend to use a wheel and just put in the ones that, I want to stitch on but can't decide between. And that does it for me. I'll spend a day or two on it. And then I will, go for another goal or, you know, go for what I'm feeling. It's all just about vibes on this channel. It's completely chaotic, but it is all about vibes. I also have an intended new start. I don't know when. So as I said, I stitched No for my grandma, but my great aunt seen it and loved it and wanted one for herself. So she loves stags, and I went through Etsy and found this pattern here. I will leave all the information on screen because I can't remember the shop that I found this on, and I went through a couple of patterns with her. She chose this one, and then I went through fabrics and she chose a grey fabric from River Hut Design. So even though this is not a plan that will probably come for another maybe 2 month, I would say, this is something that I have in the back of my head, because that would then bring me up to 13 whips, and that one definitely needs to be done by the end of the year, like fully finished by the end of the year. So like the sooner I start it, the more chance there is for me to finish it completely by the end of the year, while also still having time to meet my other goals. So I will probably accumulate the fabric and the pattern and everything over the next couple of weeks and put that start off until maybe March, because that will give me enough time to, get a lot of stitches on the new starts that I already have before jumping into another new start. I am having fun. That is the main thing. I'm having fun. I am also tracking my stitching, what I stitch on every day for the year. So I have my handy little notebook here, my planner, and this is what we are looking like for the month. I'm just writing what project I stitch on and the amount of stitches I get done in that given um couple of days. So yeah, I'm having fun. I'm enjoying my stitching, and that is all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comments any of the thoughts you have, what you're stitching on. I'd love to know. I hope you have a great day, a great week, whenever the hell you're watching this. Remember to stay safe, happy, and healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye.